Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there lived a girl lived with a little Riding Hood on Red Rid's bed. She liked it so well that she would never wear anything else. For these reasons, many folk called her Little Red Riding Hood. Those closest to her, however, called her Red. One day, Red's mom asked her to take some cake to Grandma, who was not well. Go quickly through the woods. Do not leave the path, and do not talk to strangers. I will take great care, Red replied. Just as Red entered the woods, however, she met Wolf. Red did not know what a wicked creature he was, so she did not know to be warning of him. Such a beautiful morning, Wolf said with a smile. Where are you going, child? To Grandma's, Red asked politely. What have you got in your basket? Wolf asked. Grandma not feeling well, Red explained. Yesterday I was baking day, so I taking her some cake. Wolf whined and nodded his head. Where does Grandma live? He asked next. Further on the woods under two large oak trees, Red said. Wolf barely grumbled. His brain raced he would eat Grandma for lunch and Red for dessert. To catch both truths, he knew he must act quickly. Springtime, said Wolf. How sweetly the little birds sing. Have you noticed the pretty flowers all around you? Grandmas loved wild flowers. If I were you, I'd pick a bunch all for yours. Red listened. The birds did sing sweetly. Red looked around her. Flowers were brilliant that she bent down to pick one. Have a nice visit, cried Wolf, and he hastened away. Red wandered from the path into the woods to search for flowers. Whenever she picked one, she put it an ever prettier more than further on the path. She warned and picked and warned. Meanwhile, Wolf ran straight into Grandma's house under two large oak trees and knocked at the door. Who is there? Called Grandma, lying sick in her bed. It's Red, called Wolf in a high, sweet voice. I have brought you something good to eat. Leaving the lodge and come in, called Grandma. I'm too weak to get up. Wolf lifted the lunch, and the floor strained open. Without another word, he went straight to Grandma's bed and swallowed her whole. Then he dressed himself in her cap, climbed into her bed, and drew the curtains. When Red had picked enough flowers, she set out again for Grandma's house. When she arrived at Grandma's garden under the large oak trees, she was surprised to find the door open. A feeling of dread floored he was stepped inside. Good morning, she called, but no one answered, so she went to the bed and drew back the curtains. Before her lay a strange sight instead. Oh, Grandma, Red cried, what big ears you have. All the better will tell you which, child, Wolf said. Oh, Grandma, Red cried, what a big eyes you have. All the better to see you with, child, Wolf said. Oh, Grandma, Red cried, what a big terrible mouths you have, all the better to eat you with, Wolf roared. With one bound, he swept out of bed and swallowed up red flowers, cake, and all. Very now full, Wolf lay down again on the bed and dropped off to sleep. Inside Wolf's stomach it was dark and cramped, but Red's stomach reached down and squeezed Grandma's hand. Grandma squeezed back. Neither spoke. The only sound came above in its armored, rolling thunder. When Red raised her head, she could discern a weak light winking down towards Wolf's throat. Then she understood Wolf was snoring with his mouth open. Inch by inch, Red lifted her bouquet of flowers. She tickled Wolf's throat once, twice, thrice. He caught one twice, third, then kept on counting until he caught Red up. When at last he did, Red held up tight to Grandma's hand and pulled her out too. They fastened Wolf, still asleep, to Grandma's bed. Then, when Grandma and Red sat down for a nice long chat, they drank tea and ate cake. When Wolf awoke from his nap, you can be sure he didn't get any. This is the end of the story. Goodbye.